America's Mouthpiece. In 2025, we still have young ladies of the white persuasion talking to black men 60 some years old and the president of countries and telling them to sit down, boy. She wasn't even old enough to understand what that means to black people, especially black men, and how they were treated over the last 4 or 5 centuries. Do you know what it's like for a black man to stand against institutionally powerful spokespersons who happen to be white? And to do that in front of the entire country is enough to make anybody want to go stark raving mad. But that's not what happened. One gentleman quietly stood up and took a comment historically loaded with dominance by white supremacy, slavery, and a host of other things, and turned it into a moment of dignity. How did he do that? He did that by keeping his feelings calm and first, instead of sit down, boy, standing up, man. And with a dignity and a calmness that most people wouldn't be able to exhibit when they are angry or somebody calls them a boy. He took that comment and he turned it into a moment of dignity. Now, the American Mouthpiece said, is not about race or power. She said it was about accountability. Well, if it's about accountability, why is it that America has never been accountable for slavery? Instead of paying the people that were affected by slavery, you paid the slave owners. And still today, black men are struggling just to be called a man and not a boy. Since when has white supremacy, or let's put it the status quo, felt accountable for any of their actions of themselves, their fathers, mothers, grandfathers, grandmothers, and on down the line for 400 years and so? Now, why is it that when we challenge something, they play the victim card, but when we do something that is noble and dignified, they tell us that we're playing the victim card, or we're lazy, or we just don't want to work hard enough, or we don't want to work for free. Young lady said that she came to speak truth, but won't be silenced by theatrics. But anybody that would call somebody that was senior to them a boy on national TV, who's being theatrical? What do you think would happen if the roles were reversed? Now, getting back to accountability, if You want to talk about being accountable or accountability, and you avoid answering questions every day about how you've acted in the past and you act today, the things that you're doing, Project 2025, you're taking African artifacts out of museums so that you don't know the proper history, telling people things that are untrue. But let me say something. You point fingers at people who dare to question the status quo script. And it's scripted, the Bible, media, books, education, all of it's a script. And it's conditioning. And the reason why we are the way we are, and they are the way they are, is because people do not want to talk about race in this country. They don't want to talk about power. And a lot of this is because their eyes see differences before their minds see the similarities in human beings. And through the decades of silence, when we stand up, you call it a distraction. You call it an attack. But I don't know of anybody who's attacked black folks more than Europeans. And you call it manifest destiny. You come and you take and you steal and you rob, but it's legal because you are European. And let a black man steal a bubble gum and he goes to jail for 10 years. You tell us when we challenge you that we attack you. But I guess it's like this. The person that's accusing someone is the guilty party, and the one that's being accused is the innocent party. But since they don't have any power in this system, it doesn't matter if they're innocent until proven guilty. It doesn't matter if they are guilty. Either way, when you are perceived or you seen in the environment with the powerful and you look like me, you're automatically guilty. Now, the young lady was speaking for a president, but she wouldn't take responsibility for her own words, but she's backed up by the seal of America. See, the dynamics of race, power, and media narrative, institutional arrogance, better known as white supremacy, are still our theme song for America. Truth does not need applause, was a statement made by a man. But I will tell you this. I have seen two men be called boys, one a president, one of an icon in our established celebrity circles. And grace over anger, truth over theatrics, humanity over hate is what President Trevor exhibited when being called a boy. For that president, she did try to berate, which sealed her fate, but 2 days late, her apology did wait, and Trevor did orate. And the audience, they loved it because it was authentic. It was righteous. And what could have been a negative, he turned it into a positive.